What's up, everybody? It's the Nigerian Nightmare Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C.
A Shadow Line production.
And we are back on Pound for Pound. Henry, you did that there. Your arms look a little light. Let's throw them up one more time. Throw them up. Look at you. I can see muscles in there. I can see cuts in there, huh? You
In there,
getting a
man. No
little...
more tamales, man. No more barada marada, as Khabib would say. But just getting the weight down, Kush. You know how it is, man. Fight camp, those fight camp
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah, of course. Everybody, I'm sure, want to know, Henry, what's been going on with you? What's been going on with me? So you go ahead. What's been happening? I ain't seen you in a minute, huh?
Yeah, about 3 weeks left into fight camp. Getting the weight down. Weight's doing very, very well. I've been sparring 2 to 3 different guys alternating on me. Obviously, I'm doing a 5 round fight, so I'm expecting the best, man. Good recovery. So far, like I think every camp is always like the best camp. It always seems and it always feels like this is the best camp you've ever had. So far so good, Kush, on that side. Like no complaints. I got a cut the first week of fight camp with an elbow. But other than that, I mean, it's all been pretty smooth. I was still able to, to fight and to spar and to train. A few days later. It's just that, we did have to get stitches the first week, and that was just that. But other than that, I feel healthy, tactically, technically. I'm excited, man, for February 22nd. Dude. I will be serving some damn chow mein to this world.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Henry, no, I did see that, and I was a little. Something went off in my head a little bit. I was like, Henry, are you concerned at all? Because first of all, you had a cut, and then you posted it. So I'm like, Henry, are you concerned at all? Because we had someone else do something like this, the champion, and we know how that was received from Dana. And so were you concerned at all? Like, boss man might not like me posting this, but for content
Nah.
purposes, hey.
Yeah, content. I mean, if it doesn't bleed, it doesn't read. So, if it was closer around this time, I would have been yeah. But if you can notice my eyebrows, like everything is good. So it's been weeks. So this was just throwing things out there in the beginning. And plus, man, I'll be ready for them albums from Song Dong. I know he likes to throw them, and I got caught with one, and that's all she wrote. But enough about me. Let's talk about your boy Israel Adesanya. This weekend against Imavov, dude. I wanted to kind of get your reactions, man. I know it. I know it hurts, man. He's closer to our age. Uh, talk to me about it, cuz. What did you think of the fight?
No, fantastic fight. You can see obviously, and this time it was kind of in an arena, I believe, and so you can see that MMA and UFC specifically is definitely growing in that region of, especially in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So, that was great. But obviously, to have a fight like Israel and Imavov there was a big, big deal, and it looked that way. Going into the fight, it was a good card, I must say. It was a good card, and that main event was tough because Izzy, it came out. Izzy was doing everything. He's doing what he needed to do. He looked good. He looked sharp. He looked fast. So did Imavov, and Imavov. I would say about him is he's dialed in. I think when he first kind of, and I don't. This is me observing from the outside. Like I said, I'm pretty observant. I might not say it all the time, but I'm watching. So from the outside looking in, when he split from his former team at a factory, I think I forget what it's called, MMA Factory or something like that. When he split from the team out there in Paris, it seemed like he was kind of in a limbo a little bit, trying to figure out himself and the trajectory and his direction. But it seems now, and especially in the last couple fights, he's kind of really dialed in and honed in on what he needs to do. He spent a little time. He came down to South Florida with Henry and spent a little time there, but it's just his focus and his determination. You could see that it's really starting to pay off for him. And I mean, the fight was great. Izzy was landing. Izzy was kind of trying to keep him off balance, but Imavov did, something really spectacular. He kept pressuring. He attempted a couple takedowns early in the fight, Henry, as you saw, and that kind of puts little things in your head. And in that second round, I think what is it? Izzy gets poked in the eye, and then chooses to continue, and then he switches stances, and then Imavov just kind of he's very sneaky with that right hand, comes over the top, lands it flush, hurts Izzy. He wasn't out of there, but that follow up put him down completely, and Izzy was still moving, but Imavov, that a guy that sharp, that fast, that hungry at that time, and he was on top of him. It just, people are saying maybe early stoppage, Henry. For me, as a fighter,
You don't want to see him get hurt, man.
as a fighter, I will say, as a fighter, if I was Izzy, I would say early stoppage, because as a fighter, my job is to fight to the death. But from the outside looking in, as a ref, as a bystander who cares for those guys in there, yeah, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see Izzy out completely unconscious. And so it was a tough one. I think both both guys looked good. And shout out to Imavov. I mean, he's definitely elevated himself to that very, very short list, Henry, of potential next contender for that title.
Yeah, man, Israel, he's damn. Yeah, but you said something that hit the nail on the head, Kamaru, and I'm glad you kind of brought it up. Is he switched stance like in fight zone? Like he was southpaw, he threw the kick, and then he switched stance, then he switched stance again. When he switched stance again, Imavov just happened to just kind of pretty much rush in, catch him with that overhand right, and that's pretty much all she wrote. So I felt like Israel Adesanya looked really good in round one, good fakes, defending him, just picking him apart. Like, all right, man, this is the way the fight is going to go. But when you switch stance in the fight zone a little too early, and then he caught him with his hands up in the air, like he got him out of position. It only takes one hand in mixed martial arts. It's not boxing. It's not kickboxing. That 4-ounce glove changes everything, man. So I feel it, man. I feel like Izzy is still dangerous. I feel like, to me, is like this was one of the fights where he just got caught, but I think he's gonna have to really just keep those hands up, and he cannot get too fancy, man, with switching stance and things like that. Like, stay a lot more basic now, Israel. But other than that, I mean, it was Imavov's night, and he's, he had a beautiful message at the very end, talking about world peace.
Looking at the landscape of that middleweight division, what do you think is next for a guy like Nasruddin Imavov? And also, what do you think is next for Izzy? What would you like to see happen?
Yeah, I think you give Imavov the wolf. I think you give him Khamzat Chimaev. I think stylistically that's not a good fight for him, but there has to be something that needs to go on at the middleweight division. I personally don't think that Strickland should have went in there and fought for the title, bro. I really don't, dude. I don't know why the UFC did that. And particularly his fight with Paulo Bosch was the most boring fight at middleweight. And he just happened to.
Wow.
It was Kamaru. It was super boring. It was a boring ass fight. And I think I'm surprised they gave the title shot to a guy like Sean Strickland. But they're going to fight this weekend. But I think with Imavov, you either give him if they're gonna give the title shot to Khamzat Chimaev, then you're probably gonna have to give Imavov somebody in the top 5. And I would say, let me look at this list real quick here. He beat Israel Adesanya. Yeah, it's Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker. But I also feel like, man, Robert Whittaker also tends to spoil the party when people I think you skip Robert. I think the next guy maybe in line is Boralho. I think Imavov and Boralho makes perfect sense. Because I think more like what's going to happen at the middleweight division is the winner of Sean Strickland and DDP is going to fight Khamzat Chimaev, and then Israel's rank is about to go down. So that makes Khamzat Chimaev the next contender in for the belts. What you do is you do Boralho versus Imavov, and then for Israel Adesanya, I would like to see him go up against Cannonier. No. Remember, he already fought Cannonier. Yeah, I mean, Brandon Allen. I mean, at this point, man, it's you have Brandon Allen. He's already fought Strickland. He's fought Robert Whitaker. He's fought Imavov. Boralio's more likely going to get. I think for a guy like Israel Adesanya, you give him somebody at this point, just let him pick, dude. let him pick his fight, like straight
Yeah,
up. Like let him.
yeah.
He's 0-3 in his last 3 fights. Let him pick it, and I think I'm cool with that.
I think you're right. You're right in the ballpark. I think for Imavov, it's looking at those rankings again. I think for Imavov, it's you either have to if Hamzat Chimaev doesn't want to wait, I think you have to do Chimaev versus Imavov, and winner fights the winner of Strickland versus Duplessis. But if that's not the case, then we've got honestly, and I do think Chimaev. I mean, he's made a case for himself going in there and disposing of Robert Whitaker like that. I think we do Chimaev versus the winner of versus Strickland and Duplessis in probably I want to say October. They go to Abu Dhabi, so I say in October, and you do Imavov versus Caio Borralho. Because I do think Borralho is of course he's done the work, but he's just not he hasn't had that star breakout performance yet to where his name is thrown into that short list of who's next to fight for the title. And Imavov just did by defeating Israel Adesanya, and especially in the way that he did. So I would say I would like to see one more for Caio Borralho. And yeah, I think if it's not Imavov, then maybe Borralho and Whitaker. But I would like to see. I think Chimaev is next, and then I think Imavov versus Borralho gets the winner of that. And for Israel, man, honestly, he's at a point in his career to where remember Anderson Silva got to this place where I'm gonna pick a fun fight. It's a fun fight. That's a fight that I think is gonna be great. That people want to see that fight. Because Izzy did show that he can still fight.
Okay,
He was sharp.
Can I throw a name out there? You
Sure.
may like this or you may not.
Sure, throw one out.
I'd like to see a fight of 2019, a fight of the year between him and Calvin Gastelum. You know, if they can run that thing back.
Where's Gaslam here in the top?
I want to say Calvin is maybe like in the top 15.
No, Calvin is not in the top 15.
Really, you're really gonna put Shara Bullet in front of him, dude?
Yes,
Fuck.
yes.
Dude, I told
the
Calvin
double back
call
fake.
his.
Didn't Calvin just lose his last performance and didn't make weight?
No, he won.
Who did he fight last?
He fought C-Rod.
Right. But before that, he went down. Did he make weight for that fight?
Huh?
Did he make weight for that fight?
He ended up going at 185 pounds.
He didn't make weight. And before that, did he make weight for the fight with Sean
listen,
Brady?
Kush, I am just suggesting. Don't shoot the messenger.
I love Kelvin Gastelum. I do. That's one of the guys I really, really like. But you have to be a professional here. You cannot just say, oh, because I was a great fight in 2019, let's throw him. No, it doesn't make sense at all. I would like to see Kelvin Gastelum actually get his weight under control, get the swing of things, and then of course, he deserves a lot. So, but no, I think right now, Izzy, take your time. When you want to come back at the end of the year, then
but
a fight that makes sense.
Yeah, well, let's move it along. Kush, did you get a chance to watch the co-main?
I didn't see the whole fight. I did watch the highlights of this, and like I said before this, it's very difficult to fight a guy like MVP and look good. I mean, he's just such a specialist with the way that he moves, with the way that he fights, to where it's just difficult. Look at this flying knee. Just missed the mark a little bit more. Like, it's very difficult for guys. Like, I know this is the second time now with MVP that I've said this. And I know a lot of people, when the fight's announced, they go, oh my God, yes, MVP. Yeah. I'm like, listen, MVP is so good at what he does. He's so specialized in it that he makes these strikers, these super strikers, look bad. You can't. It's very difficult to fight. Look at the what's the Irish dude when he fought the Irish dude his last fight. He turned him into a grappler. So yeah,
Yeah.
MVP is very very talented. He's super specialized in what he does, and these fights are not as exciting
Yeah.
as people are gonna think because yes, they're strikers. No, MVP is so specialized in what he does. He makes these guys look bad. So yeah,
Yeah. No, I get it, Kamaru. I think the difference in this fight was the range. And this is what tells
yeah.
you. This is why I was telling you, like, dude, Sharp Bullet is not at that level. He is an incomplete fighter. You know what I'm saying? This is why you have to have all the tools, bro. You gotta learn how to defend and then wrestle and then clinch. Like, it was none of that. Like, this guy, he's just striking, bro. And unfortunately, that's just not enough in this damn game. You know what I'm saying? Now I feel like this is all padded record, dude. Like, watching this last fight with him and MVP. Why did MVP win? It was his range. It was his range, and Shar never kicked his legs. Shar doesn't fake. Like, he's a guy that just he's a
Chara tried to kick his legs. He tried.
Yeah, but it's there, man. Lima has proven that. He's proven that. It's just that these guys are just not good at fakes, dude.
Right.
The reality is, Kamaru, is the dude is just not well rounded, and if he is from freaking Dagestan, Russia, bro, like, bro, you're in the best position to really learn that game, and that just lets you know that he's just comfortable here. And I think the UFC, sooner or later, they're gonna get you out, bro. They're gonna these fun fighters that are like Mike Perry, like a lot of these guys are in the UFC, like, and it's going on right now with who's that dude that has a big mouth? What the hell's his name? Kevin Holland, dude. He's another one. It's like, bro, like, even Kevin Holland's a little bit more complete. But I personally think that should probably do that fight next. If you guys want an entertaining fight where guys are just going to sit there and strike.
They
But
have done that.
MVP's movements, his range stick, his fakes, his feints were making this dude hesitate. And it's unfortunate, bro. It's a padded record, man. That's all I got to say. Watching that fight, it just proves that he's just
you hurting people, Henry, by saying that.
he's not well rounded, Kamaru. He's not well rounded, bro. He's just not well rounded, dude.
I agree with you, Henry. I wouldn't say he's the most well rounded mixed martial artist, but he's exciting. And of course, that's the thing that I say. Like, this company is going to feed. They can and they will feed you to that excitement, because if you're going to bring in dollars, yeah, we're going to feed you for the excitement. But sooner or later, we can't control everyone that you fight. Sooner or later, you're going to climb up those rankings and you're going to fight a guy that's a little bit more well-rounded. Can you handle yourself once you get to that place? And it's difficult especially because MVP is a striker as well, but he's a specific type of striker. He's a specialist in what he does. And yeah, you're right. You know what? Honestly, I do agree with you. Why not do Sharabullah versus what's his name, Kevin Holland? Why not?
I thought you were gonna say Bilal, bro. You be forgetting his name like a motherfucker.
Who'd you
But
say?
anyways, I agree. No, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
Yeah, Henry. So I mean, I agree. It's interesting place to be right now in the middleweight division, because that division is definitely heating up. But Henry, as far as speaking of these fights, your boy Benavidez, he fought this last weekend.
The
and
Mexican
Henry,
monster, the Mexican monster. Say it.
I'm gonna say there was some people at the gym in Florida. You know who you are, who said that, hey, this young hungry lion Morrell, he's gonna come in there, he's gonna do his thing, and they said he was gonna stop Benavidez. That's what they were saying. And listen, hats off to this dude, man. I mean, he came out there to fight. Henry, think about it. When was the last time you saw somebody come in and stand toe to toe and fight Benavidez like this? When was the last time? You haven't seen someone actually bring the fight to him like that. This was a war by both guys.
He hurt him. He hurt him in the second or in the third. He dropped him, I want to say, in the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
But he also got beat up, bro. Like
Yeah.
the Mexican monster put it on him, bro. A flurry of uppercuts, breaking his guard, running those uppercuts down the middle, left hook to the body. I mean, you talk about the sweets. Like David Benavidez has that style where it's like sweet science. He's a technical savage, bro. Like he's a dude that will go out there and technically like fuck you up with all his strength and with malice. And how many people really have that, bro? I think that's what separates him and anybody at 168. I'm gonna even say it now at 175 pounds, dude. I put my money with David Benavidez against anybody. Bivol, better Biv. David Benavidez right now, to me, in my eyes, for what he was able to do to a guy that was 11-0 at that time with the David Morrell, which says a lot about David Morrell, dude, because he was able to stay in there with 11 fights, bro, to take on a challenger like this. It says a lot about him, but obviously he is a decorated amateur boxing champ. But man, Benavidez, his jab, his speed, his power, his endurance was just too much for him. Too
No,
much.
you're right, Henry. But listen, it's almost like Benavidez is bigger than all these guys, and by him being bigger than all these guys, he takes the shot better than all. Honestly, I would like to know what he weighs when he steps in there for fight night, because he can take these punches a lot better than all these guys. He can continue to just walk, and that's his style. He walks forward, he walks through the shots. Let's be honest, 11-0, David Morrell looked spectacular, looked great. I would like to see him maybe get 5 more fights before taking a fight like this with Benavidez, but because I think that's what eventually got to him, because in those later rounds, Benavidez just was still able to just continue to come forward the way that he does. He's done it at 68, he's done it at 75, to still come forward and eventually wear somebody down. So uh, it was a spectacular fight, but it also shows, man, David Benavidez is definitely the top dog in those divisions right now. And you're right, Henry. I would definitely put him up against almost anyone in those divisions.
No,
Don't
but
say
okay.
Canelo. Don't bring his name up.
I know.
Don't do it. Don't
There's a
do it.
reason why Canelo doesn't want it. I've
But
let go of that shit. I get it, man.
you
I get
good?
it.
You
When
good? You
Canelo
let
do it,
go? You good?
yeah, I mean, fuck it, dude. You know what I mean? And plus he came out on pound for pound, dude. And just Canelo was just, remember he was talking to us like, yeah, no, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I like
Yeah.
whatever, dude. But how do you see that fight between him and Better Beer? I mean, how do you see it, Kamaru? Do you see him? Because he used to spar against Better Beer. I don't know. I'm sorry. He used to spar against Bivol. And for what I know from a lot of little birdies, that David Benavidez, even as a younger and smaller fighter at the time, would get the better end of the stick. But imagine now he's bigger. He's really 175 pounds is actually perfect for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I personally think he does them both in, bro. I think he does the same thing to either Bivol or Better, or call me biased, but he's that fucking good, Kamaru.
I wouldn't say you're biased. Oh, no, never. I take that back. I take that back. Yeah, you are definitely biased, but uh, but I wouldn't say you're wrong, because I think it's a better style matchup for a guy like Beterbiev, because Beterbiev is a little more methodical with the shots, and he's throwing more power shots, to where I think David might have the speed advantage and be able to put shots in between there. He's got speed and he's got power as well. Now the Bivol, I would say it's a little bit different, because Bivol can throw punches in bunches, and Bivol does very, very well with controlling the distance, as you saw when he fought Canelo. He's very, very good at controlling distance. He'll run off combinations, and he still keep himself away to where you can't get to him. He's got that style. So I it's hard to bet against Benavidez against anyone, but I would say him and Beterbiev is. I mean, I would love to see that fight next. To be honest with you, if they can make that happen, I would love to see it, because Beterbiev is the champion. Arthur is the champion right now. So hey, why not make that fight?
Yeah, but
That's the
notice
big
how
money
can,
fight.
can you rewind that real quick? Notice how he just got hurt. How many fighters do you know that get hurt and keep fighting with this demeanor, bro. Can you
But that's what I'm saying.
bring that?
But that's what I'm saying, Henry. When you
Fuck.
What's what I'm saying, Henry. When you're much bigger than these guys, it's not as effective. You're naturally the bigger man, and that's what I said. I would love to know what he weighs on fight night because he's able to just kind of walk him down.
Like you talk about a willpower, 'cause these dudes grew. They've started boxing since they're 3 years old, bro. And I feel like that's something that David Benavidez is. It's his experience of understanding what it's like to feel hurt and fucking shake it off, and then still fucking. I don't want to say he won the round. I mean, yeah, still win the round pretty much.
Relax.
Still win the round, coach.
How you win the round? You get dropped.
No, he didn't get dropped.
That wasn't that round. Yeah, that wasn't that
that
round.
Look,
But yeah, hey,
that's
that
a
was the
hard
most significant shot.
dude.
That was the most significant shot that round. So, listen, like I said, it's very, very tough to bet against a guy like David Benavidez right now against anyone. But Morrell should definitely, man. He's got a bright future for sure. He's big things for him. So, hats off to both guys. It was an amazing fight, a really, really good fight. Just before that, the fight before that, my man had Tim's on. Look at what was that? Look at him. Stephen Fulton had Tim's on. He fought in Tim's and jean shorts. Yo,
no, that was our that was our custom. Honestly, that
of
fight
course
was kind of boring.
custom. Yeah, I agree.
To me, that fight was boring. But the fight before that with Isaac Cruz and that other Mexican,
Yeah.
Jesus, bro,
Yeah.
did you see that, Kamaru?
I did. It was a fantastic fight. But beating Isaac Cruz, that's beating Pitbull. That's not beating Pitbull is not easy.
No, Pitbull ended up winning, bro. But
Wait.
yeah, Pitbull won.
No.
Man.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Pitbull won, but dude, that these guys hurt each other, bro. The co-main event. That fight was ridiculous, man. Jesus, man.
But Henry, that's a weekend, man. It was an incredible weekend, and yeah, don't forget Clarissa Shields has another amazing performance too. She went out there and definitely defended her. I mean, I don't think, honestly, to be honest with you, I don't think it's a woman right now that's gonna step into boxing and beat Clarissa Shields. Definitely not at those upper weights. So
you know what? I just recently heard some beef that they had against Layla Ali.
yeah, she's had it there. That's been for years.
You know what I'm
though.
saying, dude? If there's anybody that's heavy,
stop. Don't.
You wouldn't give Layla Ali. You wouldn't give Layla Ali.
Don't, Henry. Layla is a woman, a businesswoman. She's not an athlete anymore. She's not an athlete anymore. Hasn't been an athlete for a few years now. Do not do that to her. Don't put her in the mix and let Clarissa. Don't do that to her. And I love Layla Ali, but don't do that to her. Clarissa,
boxing's
right now,
first 3-division undisputed champ.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the GOAT, dude. That's the GOAT for women's boxing. You can't. 2-time Olympic gold medalist, first boxing 3-division undisputed world champ. I mean, there's so much to be said. I mean, I think she should just spend time in MMA, dude. I think.
I agree. If she
wants
to make money, why not? I agree.
Yeah, separate
not
herself from the pack.
Money.
Yeah, maybe do her best to fight for a world title. I mean, dude, it could be open, dude. If she has that time and she has I was gonna say balls, but she has the courage to go to MMA and do it. I mean, Clarissa Shields. I mean, what else is next, dude? Just go out and conquer another sport in the sport of mixed martial arts. You already signed a PFL. Take the time, pick the right fights, and I guarantee you, man. I guarantee she could, in the PFL, man, she could make some noise, bro, with some good defense. Man, ain't nobody gonna want to touch your hands.
I agree. Well, Henry, it was an amazing weekend of fights. I love it, and obviously the year's just starting now. I feel like we've been talking about fights, but the year just started. We're in February, so anywho, amazing weekend of fights. Make sure you stay tuned. We're gonna be dropping UFC 312 breakdown previews coming up this Thursday, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But Henry, as always, I'm the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C.
Ooh, those arms look light, Henry. And we are out.